And everyone comes in and works basically as long as they wish. And then they go and they do whatever else they want to do. But understanding that since we're on a society that if you're too lazy to go work at all in the hydroponic gardens and that's your job, somebody might not have enough food. Or if you didn't feel like designing clothing or creating clothing or furniture, and you made no other arrangements for someone else to take up your slack of time, someone else in the city might be going without. So understanding that method has made people responsible for what hours they work. Understanding that they are doing true service that somebody will appreciate. The only thing that we don't interchange by simply putting in the distribution centers are things like art forms, art objects, massages, things like that. That is done in what we call a barter basis. Those who, for instance, their main talent is art, whether it's drawing, pottery, sculpturing, massage. All these different little things that are not part of the whole, not part of what you might say necessities, but are necessities to the soul. As I said, these come to the distribution centers in the form of the barter pool. In other words, you walk in and you see a statue that was created by somebody you really want. In exchange for it, you're willing to give 10 massages, and you're very good at massage. Or you're willing to come and sing. Then the barter pool goes through it with the computers, and perhaps the person who made the statue doesn't need a massage, but a person who brought in a painting that the person who made the statue wants massages. So it continually, the barter pool switches and curves so that everyone's needs are met. So everyone can come in and exchange energy in some form to receive, you might say, the little pampering things in life. Also within this system, people setting their own hours, it does not become so crystallized that no one has any freedom to come and go at their will. That people can truly set their lives to achieve the best of work, of play, of rest, of meditation, spiritual endeavors, so that everything is met and not at the expense of something else. Understanding that spiritual time is just as important as work time. Which leaves us to what could be a problem of what about those jobs that no one wants to do, since everyone chooses their jobs. Gathering the garbage and dematerializing it, weeding the hydroponic gardens, etc., etc. This falls under what is called community service, and everyone does it. Everyone in the city spends a certain amount of time a month in community service. So what this means is this works very well because since everyone does it, no one has to do it that much. No one has to do full-time the jobs that no one would like to do and go into resentment because of it. Instead, if everyone does a certain amount of community service, it means that you might only spend 4 hours of community service a month. And since it becomes a project that you only do once a month, it actually becomes fun. And when people are on groups of community service, they start singing and playing and having a good time. But it's something that no one even tries to get out of it. You can be in community service. A real good one is picking up put it bluntly, secretions from the animals down in some of the nature areas where it starts getting really bad. This could put someone in real resentment while you're shoveling elephant you-know-what. But if the person in the hydroponic gardens is doing it right alongside of, for instance, someone on the Council of 12, it's a thing that becomes not resentful, but fun, and it's something that people truly get a sense that there is no better than and no less than in a job situation. That a farmer or someone who works in the hydroponic gardens is not less than someone who's on the Council of 12. They both just have different jobs. And both jobs are equally important for a city to run properly. So therefore, people immediately have the feeling of being good enough. And as I said, things like community service brings all the different levels of service together and creates a true camaraderie, which goes into perhaps one of the more interesting aspects too of our personal relationships. In Telos, we have two forms of marriage. We have a bond marriage and we have a sacred marriage. A bond marriage is when two beings decide that they've got something with each other and they want to explore it greater. Then in front of a priest or priestess and a bunch of their friends, they commit themselves to a bond marriage, which means that they're saying, we've got something, we realize we really care for each other, and we'd like to see where it's going. So in essence, it is a form of a marriage because it has the commitments for as long as you choose the bond marriage to last. And then if you decide, oh, well, it was just a passing thing, or it's something that's not going to work, you simply, stand in front of a priest or priestess again and simply explain that it didn't work. And there's no stigma on it. Some people can have several bond marriages at once. There's also no stigma on that. One thing that you do not do in a bond marriage is you do not have children. That is saved for a sacred marriage. In a sacred marriage is when you have decided, okay, we have something. Then you have a large marriage, usually a beautiful wedding. All your bond marriages are dissolved and you go into a sacred marriage where you are then allowed to have children. Children is something that people need to be trained for. They need to be taken as a serious responsibility. Some people might be in a bond marriage 200-300 years before they take a sacred marriage. Someone else who's with their soulmate or twin flame may go into a sacred marriage 2 months after they were in their bond marriage. It's all different. But again, it's always a matter of having choice. It's always a matter of having respect for each other. And this just about wraps up tape 2 of these 2 tapes of Secrets of the Subterranean Cities. I am Sharula Dux. I am the daughter of the Ra and Ranamu, therefore Princess Sharula, and I thank you.